prisoners. But the point I'm getting at here is that you can have, on the one hand, a narrative from certain people who were held hostage that were released where they're describing pretty humane treatment at the hands of their captors.
There it is.
In fact, in this piece in The Guardian that came out, I believe it was today, this released hostage is describing how her captors at one point put mattresses over them and put their own bodies on them to prevent them from getting hit by shrapnel from their own country's munitions that were being dropped on them. There have been many...
What? What? If that's the case, that they're protecting the hostages, they're not protecting them out of some goodwill for their fucking fellow man. They're probably protecting them because the hostages are valuable chips or tokens to exchange with Israel. What an unfathomable fucking statement. Holy shit.
Testimonials about being treated humanely, although it was difficult, and many hostages released said it was really terrifying when that the Israeli government was attacking. So
and what's the most terrifying part about being a Hamas hostage? It's the IDF. I can't, bro. I want to. There's so much unhinged shit.
I don't mean to babble on and on about this, but I think it's an important distinction if we care about facts. That there's not just Hamas. There are several different players here, and what I suspect is that if you were able to divide who was taken by whom, then you're going to hear different tales of how they were treated depending on who was holding them.
Yeah, one really important.
So to recap, hostages taken. It wasn't always by Hamas, okay? Ordinary Palestinians are also fucking unhinged, apparently. That's point one. Point two is if you're a hostage, you will be taken great care of because they love you and they care for you and they'll do everything they can to keep you alive, even throwing their own bodies and mattresses over you to protect from, enemy attack. And when you are a hostage by Hamas, the scariest thing is always the Jew, okay? It's the IDF is actually the scariest ones, by the way, but...
part that stood out to me in the Guardian article that you guys are referencing is actually the hostages that said that they had heard of accounts of sexual violence that some of the other captives were subjected to. They wanted to bring it up to the Hamas commanders, who they, in their own words, said would be very receptive to listening to what they had to say. So that, once again, reaffirms the exact same position. Now, you might not think that...
How much to sell Hasan to Hamas? What, can we facilitate this exchange? If it's such a great condition, if it's such a great way to live, like, go party there for a little bit. And not the Hamas in Qatar, okay? The Hamas that lives in Gaza. So I want to be clear there, okay? Not the ones that live in their $4 million mansions in fucking Doha, okay? The ones that are actually Gazans.
It is because these guys care about the humanity of the hostages. After all, they did violently kidnap these people, right?
Commodity. They're a valuable commodity.
I love that. They violently kidnapped them.
Exactly. Even from the perspective of like being a rational actor. Every single person that was a part of the operations on October 7, which of course was very violent and had a massive civilian death toll, still had a rational interest in taking hostages, not simply in the words of Israel to like take them back to Gaza and like humiliate them and rape them or kill them, but instead to use them as leverage on the conditional release of Palestinian prisoners.
Very rational. One of the videos I watched yesterday, by the way.
The Israel army has now released
no one cares about you.
Several days ago.
Very rational, by the way.
And in this...
Very rational, by the way. Do you think anyone's in here?
The IDF claims that
let's check.
Indiscriminately firing at bathrooms. And this was during that music fest in which many were running helter-skelter for cover. And this video
what about on this one? Hold on. Kill some civilians over there, maybe.
In fact, were killed.
Very rational, by the way. Also... Can I... Okay, words matter, okay? Hamas was not indiscriminately killing civilians on October 7th, okay? That is not true. Indiscriminate implies inability to choose targets. Indiscriminate usually implies a level of recklessness. It implies a lack of distinction. It implies poor proportionality. It might imply unable to be aiming certain munitions. That's what indiscriminate means, okay? Hamas was intentionally targeting and killing civilians. It was a discriminate attack, and that they were discriminating between military and civilians, and they were choosing to kill them anyways, okay? It's not indiscriminate in the sense that they were just killing whoever they blah, blah, blah. They were killing civilians very specifically. They were very specifically targeting and killing civilians, okay? I don't even know if I like the word indiscriminate being used there. It was a high level of intentionality to kill civilians. It wasn't just reckless attacks and bombs, blah, blah, blah. It was killing civilians. You don't stumble upon a party of festival goers and are like, okay, guys, shit, there might be undercover troops here. Let's go. Like,
including high-profile Palestinian prisoners as well. So that I think is like something that's lost in the media narrative for some weird, unforeseeable reason. That like these guys are barbarians and they're not thinking in a rational manner at all. There's no calculation here. They're just purely responding to their primitive desires of like.
The Israel army has. In this video that you can see on your screen, Hamas militants, the IDF claims that I think seen indiscriminately firing at bathrooms.
In the media narrative for some weird, unforeseeable reason. That like these guys are barbarians and they're not thinking in a rational manner at all. There's no calculation here. They're just purely responding to their primitive desires of like raping Israeli women.
Because this is the narrative that occupying powers, colonial powers, oppressive forces use throughout history. You have to dehumanize not just the enemy in a military sense, but the population that enemy comes from. You have to dehumanize all of them in order to justify your actions. And the United States has laundered so many of Israel's dehumanization efforts, not just in this 5 months of attacks against Gaza, but all through history. And let's remember too, have people forgotten Abu Ghraib? Have people forgotten Guantanamo? The CIA black sites? I mean, the United States itself ran a secret kidnap program where it was snatching